Welcome to today's story. Are you ready to be inspired? This is the amazing story of a man who faced huge challenges but never gave up. His name is Barack Obama. He went from a boy with a difficult childhood to becoming the 44th President of the United States. But before all the success, there was a journey filled with pain, struggle, and hope. Let us go back to the beginning. Barack Obama was born on August 4th, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii. His father, Barack Obama Sr., was from Kenya, a country in Africa. His mother, Ann Dunham, was a white woman from Kansas in the United States. They met while studying at university. They had big dreams and high hopes, but life did not go as planned. When Barack was just 2 years old, his parents separated. Soon after, they got divorced. His father moved back to Kenya. Barack stayed with his mother. He did not grow up with his father. In fact, he only saw him once after the divorce. As a little boy, he missed having a dad. He had questions. He felt confused. He was a child caught between two different worlds. When Barack was 6 years old, his mother married again. Her new husband was from Indonesia. The family moved to the city of Jakarta. Life in Indonesia was hard. Barack saw real poverty for the first time. He saw children with no shoes. Some kids had no toys, no books, and not enough food. People worked very hard just to survive. Barack's own life was not easy either. His family did not have much money. Sometimes they had no electricity. Sometimes the water did not work. The streets were crowded. The food was different. The language was new. Barack felt like a stranger. Other kids saw that he looked different. His skin was darker. His hair was curly. He was not like them. Some children laughed at him. They called him names. Barack felt alone, but his mother believed in him. She woke him up before sunrise every day. Even when he was sleepy, she made him study. She said, "Education is your way out. You must learn, even if it is hard." Barack began to understand. Books became his friends. Learning became his escape. At the age of 10, his mother made a big decision. She sent Barack back to Hawaii to live with his grandparents. She wanted him to get a better education and a safer life. In Hawaii, Barack started to attend a top school called Punahou School. It was one of the best schools in the state. He got a scholarship to study there. But once again, he felt different. Most of the other students were white. Many came from rich families. Barack did not feel like he belonged. His clothes were not fancy. His skin was not light. He often asked himself, "Where do I fit in?" At home, he had questions. Who was he? A boy from Hawaii? A son of Africa? An American? Or all of them? He felt lost. But his grandparents loved him. They told him, "Your story matters. Do not hide who you are." He remembered his mother's lessons. He kept reading. He kept studying. He kept growing. Barack began to see that being different could be a strength. His life was not like others, but maybe that was a good thing. He read about great leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. He learned how words can change the world. He dreamed of doing something great too. Even though he still had many questions, one thing was clear: education was opening doors. It was giving him hope. This was just the beginning of Barack Obama's journey. In the next chapter, we will see how education shaped his future, helped him find his voice, and took him one step closer to his dream. So stay with us. The story of Barack Obama has just begun. Are you ready to hear what happened next in the life of Barack Obama? When Barack returned to Hawaii at age 10, he started living with his grandparents. They loved him deeply. They took care of him like their own son. His mother, even though she stayed in Indonesia, always told him, "Study hard, Barack. Education is the most important thing." He listened to her. Soon, Barack got admission to Punahou School, one of the best schools in Hawaii. It was big. It was full of smart students. Most of them were white and came from rich families. Barack was different. His skin was darker. His father was from Kenya. People looked at him in strange ways. At times, he felt like he did not belong. He tried to hide his feelings. He played basketball to feel accepted. He laughed with friends. But inside, he was confused. He missed his father. He had many questions. Who am I really? Why do I feel like I'm in two worlds? To deal with the pain, he sometimes made bad choices. He started hanging out with the wrong crowd. He smoked. He skipped school. He felt lost, angry, lonely. But his mother never stopped believing in him. Even from far away, she sent him letters. She called him often. She reminded him, "You are smart. Do not waste your life." One day, Barack looked in the mirror and thought deeply. He did not want to stay angry forever. He wanted to do something good with his life. He wanted to make his mother proud. So, he started to change. He began reading books. Big books. Hard books. Books about history, race, and justice. He wanted to understand his place in the world. He wanted to know why things were unfair for people like him. After finishing high school, Barack left Hawaii. He went to Los Angeles to study at Occidental College. It was his first time living on the mainland of the United States. Life there was different again. New people, new questions. Barack still felt like an outsider, but he kept reading. He kept thinking. He joined student groups. He spoke out about justice. Slowly, his voice became stronger, but he wanted more. After 2 years, he transferred to Columbia University in New York City. It was cold. It was crowded. It was full of noise and life. Barack walked through the city streets. He saw tall buildings and homeless people sleeping outside them. He saw success and sadness side by side. That made him think more deeply. He studied hard. He chose political science as his subject. He wanted to understand how governments work. He wanted to know how to fix problems in poor communities. After graduating, Barack could have taken a high-paying job, but he did not. He packed his bags and moved to Chicago. He started working as a community organizer. His job was to help people with no jobs, broken schools, and unsafe homes. His salary was small. His office was small, but his heart was big. He knocked on doors. He listened to people's stories. He sat with them in small rooms. He helped them plan how to make their neighborhoods better. He taught them how to speak up and fight for their rights. It was not easy. Some people did not trust him at first. Others said nothing would change. But Barack kept showing up. Day by day, he earned their trust. He saw the power of unity. He saw that when people come together, they can solve big problems. He also saw that he needed more tools. If he wanted to help on a bigger level, he had to learn more. That thought started growing in his heart. Barack knew what he wanted next. He wanted to go to law school. So he applied to many schools. But there was one name that stood out: Harvard. It was one of the best universities in the world. And guess what? He got accepted. Barack moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts to study at Harvard Law School. It was not easy. The classes were tough. The students were smart. Everyone wanted to be the best. But Barack stayed calm. He worked hard. He listened more than he talked. He read late into the night. He wanted to understand how the law worked and how it could bring justice to people. Soon, people noticed him. In his second year, something big happened. Barack was elected president of the Harvard Law Review. It was a big honor. No African American had ever held that position before. His name was suddenly in the news. People started asking, "Who is this young man?" But Barack did not let it change him. He stayed focused. When he finished Harvard, many big law firms wanted to hire him. They offered high salaries, fancy offices, but Barack's dream was still the same: to help people, not to become rich. He moved back to Chicago. He began working as a civil rights lawyer. He helped people who were treated unfairly. He also started teaching law at the University of Chicago. And then something beautiful happened. He met Michelle Robinson. She was smart. She was strong. She worked at the same law firm where Barack had an internship during one summer. At first, Michelle was not interested, but Barack did not give up. He was kind, thoughtful, and funny. They talked for hours. They shared the same dreams. They both wanted to help people and make a difference. Soon, they fell in love. They would take long walks. They would talk about life, family, and the future. Michelle believed in Barack. She saw something special in him. They got married in 1992. Barack now had a new partner in life, someone who supported him in every way while building their life together. Barack continued to work with poor communities in Chicago. He listened to their struggles. He helped them find their voice. He kept fighting for justice, but something inside him was growing again. He started thinking, what if I could do more? What if I could bring real change through politics? Barack had seen how laws could change lives. He had seen how leaders could inspire people. And now he wanted to be one of those leaders. He knew the path would be hard. He had never run for office before. He had no big connections, but he had something stronger: hope. He believed in people. He believed in change. And with Michelle by his side, he decided to take the first step into politics. That is how the next chapter of his life began. Barack was ready. He had spent years working in poor neighborhoods. He had listened. He had helped. Now he wanted to do more. He wanted to speak for the people who had no voice. So in 1996, Barack ran for the Illinois State Senate. He was not famous. He did not have much money, but he had passion. He knocked on doors. He met people. He told them, "I will fight for you." And they believed him. He won the election. Barack was now a state senator, but the job was not easy. Many older politicians did not take him seriously. They thought he was too young, too new. But Barack stayed strong. He listened. He learned. And slowly, he began to earn their respect. He worked on laws to help poor families. He fought for better schools. He wanted health care for everyone. He was not afraid to speak the truth, even when others disagreed. And people began to notice. Still, life was not perfect. Barack was a new father now. He and Michelle had their first daughter, Malia, in 1998. Later, they had their second daughter, Sasha, in 2001. Barack loved being a dad, but it was hard to balance work and family. He would come home late. Sometimes he missed family dinners. Michelle was strong. She supported him, but she also reminded him, family comes first. Barack listened. He started planning better. He made time for his daughters. He read them bedtime stories. He helped with homework when he could. But deep inside, he felt something. He wanted to reach more people. He wanted to make a bigger change. In 2000, he tried to run for the U.S. Congress. It was a big step, a bold move, but he lost. It hurt. He had worked so hard. He had dreamed so big, and he had failed. Barack felt sad. He even thought about leaving politics. But Michelle told him, "Do not give up. You still have something to give." So he waited. He kept working. He stayed close to the people. He kept listening. Then in 2004, a new door opened. There was an election for the U.S. Senate. Barack saw his chance. This time, he was ready. He gave a speech at the Democratic National Convention. And that speech changed everything. Millions of people watched him on TV. He spoke with heart, with hope, with honesty. He said, "There is not a black America and a white America. There is only the United States of America." People cheered. They cried. They saw something in him, a leader. That year, he won the election. Barack became a United States Senator. His dream was growing, but so were the challenges. Politics was not just about giving speeches. It was about hard choices, tough votes, and staying true to your values. Barack did his best. He worked on issues like health care, education, and ending the war in Iraq. He kept his voice clear, his heart open. Now, people were asking a new question. Can this man be the next president? Barack heard it. He thought about it. He talked with Michelle. And deep inside, he knew it was time to take the biggest step of all. Barack Obama was no longer just a senator. People across the country were talking about him. They saw hope in his words. They saw strength in his calm voice. They saw honesty in his eyes. Barack and Michelle sat down one evening. They looked at each other. They talked about their daughters. They talked about the future. Barack asked, "Should I run for president?" Michelle was quiet. Then she said, "If you believe it is right, do it. But stay true, stay real, and never forget who you are." In 2007, Barack announced his run for President of the United States. Some people laughed. Some said, "He is too young." Others said, "America is not ready for a black president." But Barack smiled. He believed in the power of people. He believed in change. He traveled across the country. He spoke in small towns and big cities, in schools and churches, at parks and on streets. He listened to teachers. He listened to nurses. He listened to factory workers. He told them, "Your voices matter." People started to follow him. They wore shirts with his name. They held signs that said, "Hope" and "Yes, we can." Young people joined his team. Old people joined too. His message was simple but strong. We can build a better future together. But the journey was not easy. Barack faced strong opponents. Some people spread lies about him. They attacked his name, his background, his beliefs. But he stayed calm. He said, "We will not fight with hate. We will answer with hope." In 2008, after many months of hard work, Barack became the Democratic Party's candidate for president. Now, the whole world was watching. Could America really elect its first black president? On November 4th, 2008, people across the U.S. voted. That night, Barack stood in Chicago with Michelle, Malia, and Sasha. The results came in. He had won. Barack Obama was now the 44th President of the United States. Crowds cheered. Tears rolled down faces. Strangers hugged each other in the streets. In his victory speech, Barack said, "If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, tonight is your answer." He thanked the people. He thanked Michelle. He promised to lead with truth, with care, and with courage. Barack knew that becoming president was not the end of the journey. It was just the beginning. He had a country to lead, wars to end, jobs to create, people to protect. There would be pressure. There would be doubt. But he remembered his roots, the little boy in Hawaii, the student in Chicago, the dreamer who never gave up. He looked at his daughters. He looked at the crowd. And with hope in his heart, he said the words that would never be forgotten. "Yes, we can.